4, 3, 2, 1. And we're live. Hello all and welcome back to the INVICTUS stream. My name as always is Mr. Harlan Guthrie, and I am here tonight for the first time alone. Completely alone. Well, I have all of you, obviously, but I'm alone in the sense of the RPG that I'm going to be running tonight. That's right. Call of Cthulhu has released a series of standalone one-shot adventures that you can play by yourself. They're called Alone with something or other. Alone in the Dark, I think, might be one. Maybe that's a video game. Tonight, we are playing a game called Alone Against the Frost. Lost in the Canadian wilderness. It's a module that was originally released like in 85, I think, and they've just re-released it, I think, 2 days ago. So this is a brand new module, relatively speaking. And it's the first time I've ever done a solo RPG. So I'm excited. I'm also going to be asking for your help tonight. It's going to be a little different stream than anything that I've done before, that we've done before. Similar in a few ways. First off, I'm going to ask that you guys give me some suggestions and help as we play through this adventure. It's going to be a lot of me talking, a lot of me reading probably tonight, and I'm also going to be asking for XP. XP is something that we give to you, and you spend back on us during the games. But since it's tough to kind of keep track of and know where you are in the XP world, I'm also going to be giving out some XP tonight so that you can hopefully give it back to me. But if not, you can hold on to it, use it in our Apocalypse World games or any of the other games. So that's what we're doing tonight. Call of Cthulhu, Alone Against the Frost. This is, of course, an 18-plus stream and an 18-plus show. There's going to be maybe some horrific things going on tonight. Some horrific scenes, some violence, probably some swearing. So if you're uncomfortable with any of that, that's okay. You don't have to watch. You can close down the video and walk away. But before you do, you make sure you like it. When you like the videos, it makes me feel like a better person. Also, if you are not part of the Facebook group, please consider joining the Facebook group. It is found by searching the INVICTUS stream or following the links in the description of this video. And it's where everyone gets together and talks and hangs out and has a good time. If you're a part of the Facebook group, you also have a chance to win Most Valuable Post. The Most Valuable Post is the post of the week that we distinguish amongst the rest, and we say, hey, you done good. That's also one of the ways you can earn XP that you can, again, spend back in game. So there's a lot of reasons to do it. I mean, obviously you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram and all that kind of awesome stuff, but the Facebook group is what I really like because it means I can talk to you on a weekly basis, or a daily basis, or an hourly basis. This week I'd like to reward the MVP to, I don't have my sound effects queued up, so Tomiko Fujio, I believe. I posted earlier this week if someone could give me an hour of their time, and she very quickly said yes, and helped me with a personal project that I was looking at. So thank you, Tomiko, for that. You get a round of applause. Call of Cthulhu Alone Against blank, blank, blank is a totally new idea for me. I don't know how it's going to go tonight. I don't know how long it's going to be. I printed out the character sheets, and I've read very little about the actual game. So this is also going to be a little bit of a teaching moment, I suppose. We're going to learn together. I'm going to talk through the rules, and I think we get to do a tiny bit of character creation, so I'm going to involve you guys every step of the way for as much as I can. And whatever doesn't work out, then so be it. If you are someone who enjoys this stream or just enjoys RPGs in general, please consider supporting us on Patreon. The link is in the description. You can follow us at various tiers, and it means a lot to us. It's that simple. It just means a lot to us. If you don't have the income, you don't have to worry about it. But we like to give out little tidbits and treats, and we have a couple big things coming up at the end of this month that Patreon money has allowed us to do. It's also allowed us to travel. We went to Gen Con this year, and last year went to Queen City Conquest, and plan on going to another one next year. And that was all possible because of our Patreon supporters. So thank you if you support us on Patreon. And if you don't, and you're thinking about it, consider doing it. That's enough of the intro. How's everybody doing tonight? Hi, Zia. Hi, John. Hey, Carly. If you're watching this on YouTube or one of our other platforms, join the Discord chat. You can find it in the YouTube description, and come join the conversation. I'm going to be talking to you guys a lot tonight because it feels cold and alone. I'm also really excited because I don't get to play Call of Cthulhu that much. I run it a lot. I write it a bit, but I don't get to play it very much. So this is kind of the best of both worlds. I get to run a game and play in a game. So I'm happy that I get to experience both sides of the coin. Hey, Colin. So without further ado, actually I should say thank you to Chaosium, and thank you to Dustin Wright, our friend from Chaosium, who recommended this adventure. And if you like this game, or if you like the idea of this game, or you like spooky things in general, please check out Chaosium, go to their website, buy their stuff, give them a high five, whatever you want. You do you. But yeah, definitely all my love to Dustin. He's been a long-time friend, and he's the best. All right, so Call of Cthulhu, Alone Against the Frost. I'm going to read a little bit of the getting started rules. And if you are interested, you can follow along at home, I suppose. I know I play multiple people, or I play one and I control multiple people. So I don't know how involved I'm going to get just yet in the realm of you guys. I mean, who knows? If it's easy, maybe I'll throw all of the NPC decisions up to you guys. So be attentive in the chat tonight. Getting started. I'm going to need a pencil. I don't. I always use pen. I commit. That's it. Get ready. I'm going to regret that. Scratch paper, dice, and the rule book or starter set. I know the rules pretty well. Don't read this book through from the beginning to the end. Each entry is numbered, and at the end you can find instructions for where to go. So I think it's like a choose your own adventure. So we're going to do something. We're going to jump to that number, and then we're going to resolve. So it's interesting. I don't know if I make a bad decision. I don't know if it's going to stop like halfway through. It does say you have to make the choice or attempt a skill roll. When you see it happens occasionally, you'll be asked to record a keyword. Do not carry these keywords over to subsequent playthroughs. Your character may have to deal with physical or mental trauma. Although these need not end your adventure, they'll interrupt what you're doing. Oh, these are important. If you sustain a major wound or fall unconscious, make note of your current entry number, ignore the current text, and immediately go to 191. So, if I get a major wound. In the event of a temporary insanity, go to page 39. For indefinite insanity, 364. And for permanent insanity, what's the difference between indefinite insanity and permanent insanity? I guess maybe I do need the rules. For permanent insanity, go to 550. References are included in your character sheet, which I have here. I don't see them. But that's okay. I can always scroll up and you guys can remember. You're in charge of remembering that. Dr. Nadelmann. I mean, it's me, so that's how I pronounce it. Nadelmann. You may play Dr. Nadelmann as a man or a woman. We'll go man, because if this is the main character, I'm a man. It's easiest for me to feel comfortable in those shoes. That's just true. Decide this before you begin your expedition. You're the youngest PhD to be tenured at Miskatonic University in Arkham, Massachusetts. You are a rising star in the new field of cultural anthropology. Even your European counterparts are impressed by your cascade of learning articles. Your theories are exciting, your classes are always full, and your students idolize you. Previous expeditions on your resume have just been sensational enough to draw the favorable attention of the press and the university in general, and to the Department of Anthropology in particular. Rumors abound about large private endowments for your specialty. Your department heads and collegiate administrators often invite you to dinner. So I'm like whining and dining. I don't really know how to play this character. Dr. Nadelmann's investigator sheet can be found on page 110. You may allocate 360 points among Nadelmann's professional skills. These are anthropology, history, library use, natural world, other languages, own language, psychology, and persuade. Your character must have at least 75% in anthropology. Nadelmann also has 180 points of personal interest skill points to spend. Allocate these as you like, But for field work, you might want to consider firearms, rifle, shotgun, navigate, pilot, boat, survival, woodlands. Okay. So this is the first part of what we need to do to create this character. Ba-bam! That's what I just posted in the chat. Oh, lots of people talking. You need some Canadian plaid. Joe did not dress up. Joe's not here tonight, guys. It's a solo adventure. Just me, baby. Just me. So I think... You like the death clock? Counting down. So we have 360 points to go to the professional skills. Anthropology said that it needs to be 75. So, I mean, it kind of used up a lot of my points already, but, you know, whatever. My anthropology starts at 1%. So let's take anthropology to... so we're going to start with 360 minus... let's make our anthropology an 80. Because I think we're really good. So I'm going to minus 79 points because I already have 1% in anthropology. And I got an 80. Next. I mean, let's be honest. I'm a persuasive character. And I think Dr. L.C. Nadelmann, which is me. Let's think about us for a second. Who is L.C. Nadelmann? Well, I think L stands for Llewellyn. And I think Llewellyn, please call me Llewellyn. I think I'm kind of a cool teacher. I think I'm a bit Indiana Jones, you know? I mean, I'm invited to dinner parties. I'm serious about my work, but, you know, I'm also a bit of a rock star for the anthropology scene. I'm young, I'm hip, I'm sexy. So let's do that. I'm thinking we're going to do a high persuade. Persuasion starts at 10%. Let's make it 80 as well. So that's going to be taking off 70 points. To make it an 80. I like to persuade. And Llewellyn, please, call me Llewellyn, enjoys that type of thing. Students, everyone, class, sit down, please. I know. I assigned a lot of homework yesterday. But look, guys, let's just get over the course material and pick it up in the morning. That's him. I like it. Makes me feel comfortable. Makes me feel who I am. Because it is who I am. Take the requisite skills for parkour. Climb. Are you as good as you think you are, though? No, I'm not. It belongs in a museum. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, right? I think that's a dope. Okay, so what else we got? History, library use, natural world. I like natural world. Let's do 50 in natural world. Already at 10. Let's do 60. So I'm going to take off 50 points. That gives us a 60 in natural world. We have 161 points left. Other language, own language, psychology. Psychology is pretty useful. Let's do psychology. Let's do a 40 in psychology. Also at 10, so we'll minus 30 points to make that 40. That's natural world, anthropology, we already did. History. I mean, history should have some, right? I have a 5 in history. So yeah, let's bump up the history to 35. So let's do 30 points. We have 101. Oh, let's make it 31 points, eh? And then we have 100 points left. So history is 31. Sorry, I took off 30 points and I had a 5 in history. So I have 36 in history randomly. And that leaves me with 100 points for other language, own language, persuade. I don't know. What do you guys think? So we have anthropology. I have a bit of history. I don't have any library use right now. I don't have any natural world. I don't have any other language. I don't have own language, but I have psychology and persuade. So let's say out of library use, natural world, other language, own language, English, out of those 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of those 4 things, how do you guys think I should allocate the remaining 100 points? Persuade I got maxed. We're good on the persuasion. You guys let me know. 100 amongst these skills that I'm posting. Right there. 100 amongst those. And I'll first comment. My coaster is apt. You can't see it. It says private eye. I'm a nerd. Persuade, navigation. Where is it really cold? Other language, JK. Latin. Okay. I like Latin. And I like Colin said 40. So let's do other language 40 Latin. That leaves us with 61 points. Natural world, is it knowing the lay of the land? I don't think so. I think natural world would be like stone and like natural rock formations and things. Library 40, says John. Let's do it. Library use is already at 20. So I'm going to add 20 to make it 40. And 20 minus 61 is 40. So I have 41 points left. And let's do 41 points in own language. Oh no, own language is already at 90. I don't need that. Natural world. Okay, let's put the rest. That's 41 points. Let's put the rest in natural world. Oh, I already did natural world. I made it 60. I'm totally an idiot. Let's do... What didn't I do? 80, 36 in history, Latin, persuade, psychology, natural world, library use, other language, own language, psychology, persuade. Okay, so I still got 41 points somehow. So let's bump up our... You know what? I'm going to go 41 points in French. Or I guess this is another 40. There. That is our full thing. So weapon usage. So that was our skills, professional skills. Now we get personal skills. So now we have 180 points for personal interests, which would be field work. Oh, they're recommending firearms, navigate, pilot, and survival. I'm thinking, yeah, okay, so it's 180 points. I mean, survival woodland sounds really important. I already have 10%. I'm going to make that a 80. So we're going to use 70 points. Because here's my thinking. I know that this adventure is going to take place in the Canadian wilderness. And Llewellyn is a teacher. He's smart too. So I think when he knew about this voyage, he's been practicing. He's been going up into the woods and camping and coming home. And so he's been building that survival, you know, preparing for it. He's not just going to go out into the wilderness not knowing what the fuck he's doing. And in that same vein, I think navigate. I think he's going to do a big chunk in a navigate, which is already at 10. I think he's going to put 50 into navigate. That brings him to a 60. And for the final 60, I think he's going to do firearms. Now I have a hatchet, a knife, and a 30-odd bolt action rifle. I think he's going to be a rifleman or a rifle user. Firearms, rifle, shotgun. Oh, so I have 25 in rifle and 20 in handgun. And 60 points. Should I put 30 in both or try to specialize in one? Let's specialize in one. Okay, I'm going to put 50. So I have 25. If I put 50 points in firearms, rifle, that would bring me to 75. Let's do that. And that brings me 10 points to spend. So I have 30 in handgun, 75 in rifle. And those are my personal skills. Whip, see fighting. Oh, whip! That's cool. Okay. Navigate should be up 70. So navigate, we ended up with 60. So close enough. Hey, Matt Mick. Firearms, rifle. Okay, so here's the skills that we ended up with. We got anthropology 80. Credit rating 64. That was just pre-written. Firearms handgun 30. Firearms rifle / shotgun 75. I think it's important to note that weapon-wise, I have a hatchet, a knife, and a bolt-action rifle. So having high handguns wouldn't necessarily benefit me because I don't have a handgun. History is at 36 for some random reason. 40 in Latin, 40 in French, 90 in English. Library use is 40. 60 in natural world, 60 in navigate, 80 in persuade, 40 in psychology, and 80 in survival woodlands. I'm happy with that. It's not perfect, but I'm happy to do it. So, player companions. The Nadelmann expedition is a party of 5. You have the help of Charlie Foxtail, a local guide, along with Bernard Epstein, Sylvia Davidson, and Norman Faulkner, your graduate students from the university. Their investigative sheets I printed them out. If you need to make a skill roll and one of your companions is present and awake, you may choose to have them make the roll instead. For example, Charlie has an excellent score in their listen. As long as Charlie is able to help, you may roll her skill instead of Nadelmann's. You may only attempt the skill roll once, however. Should combat arise, your companions may help you. Allot damage to your side as evenly as possible. Dr. Nadelmann may elect to take extra damage to protect the students. A companion's hit points must not be reduced below 0 in combat unless the text allows for the possibility of their death. Should a companion be reduced to 0 hit points, they fall unconscious and revive if Nadelmann survives the fight. I should probably refresh my combat. You know what? We'll be fine. Let's just not die. If you may wish to note if a companion disappears or dies. Woof. Using luck points. It's recommended that you use the optional spending luck rule. This rule allows you to spend your luck points to alter the result of a skill or characteristic rolls on a 1-for-1 basis. I know all this. You can't spend them on damage, luck, or sanity. You may spend my personal luck points to succeed at a failed skill check. However, there will be very few opportunities to recover luck out in the woods. It's getting intense. Combat. When in combat, your opponent fighting skill will be noted in the following format. 50%, 25-10. 50% is the regular attack roll, while the numbers in parentheses 25-10 denote the half and hard. I know that. Who got the best? Within the entry, any damage suffered from being hit is shown. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, unconscious with a maybe. Insanity. Apart from the threat of injury and death, the sanity may be assaulted by strange. We know all this. A note about the entries. The entries are numbered consecutively from 1 to 654. All entries present information the same way. Present information. Entry number is in large bold. Details described after that. May instruct you to go to a certain entry. The parentheses number or numbers at the end of each entry are trace numbers showing the entries which you may have come from in order to have arrived at the present entry, allowing you to backtrack if necessary. Occasionally you will encounter the phrase "the end." This signifies that your investigator is doomed. Oh, sometimes it means you have won, but not very often. Okay. Alone against the frost. Okay, so I think, are we ready to do this? Are we ready to stretch our imaginations, to go where one has not gone before, to be spooked beyond spook-rehension? I think I'm ready. What about you guys? Everybody here ready? Let's do it. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Call of Cthulhu, Alone Against the Frost. You, Dr. Llewellyn Nadelmann, have been long fascinated by the prehistory of North America, particularly the big woods of the north. The Canadian wilderness remains as unexplored as the Amazon basin, and hunters, trappers, and gold seekers tell hair-raising stories of the peoples in the area. Of course, they also tell tales of terrifying demons and other exotic fantasies. The time is right to bring a rigorous academic perspective to the big woods. The truth hidden there is doubtless more fascinating than any traveler's yarn. For over a year, you've petitioned your department to finance a modest summer exploratory trip into Canada's Northwest Territories. Now, at last, your fundraising has been approved, and you make your preparations to leave at the end of the spring semester. Many of your graduate students are eager to go, but you can only take 3. You've chosen to explore the valley of the North Hanninah. In the local dialect, Hanninah means the river of magic power. The yarn spinners have worked overtime on the legends of the North Hanninah. It is said to be haunted by invisible presences, bloodthirsty headhunters. A part of the valley where a party of prospectors was found beheaded is still known as Headman's Glen. Your small expedition takes the train to north-central Canada and then boards a chartered launch to Great Slave Lake and down the Mackenzie to Fort Macdonald, where an outpost of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police represents the sole power of civilization amidst many thousands of square miles of mountains, lakes, and swamps. Fort Macdonald is a trading post for trappers and natives. The best route into the valley of the North Hanninah is upstream by canoe, following the west branch of a Mackenzie to the mouth of the tributary you seek. A single bark canoe of excellent make has been reserved for you, as well as all the basic gear that your summer trip requires. Officials tell you that guides are reluctant to venture into North Hanninah. The local peoples have always shunned the region, and most of the white men who dared to trespass upon the river of magic power never returned. Still, you locate a tough professional guide named Charlie Foxtail. She narrows her eyes upon hearing of your destination, but is persuaded by the high wages you are offering. Finally, all is ready to go. To begin your adventure, start with 1. This is fun. You want to go to Canada? We'll see. What does the C in LC Nadelmann stand for? Llewellyn Colin. There you go, Colin. 1. Here we go. After a few days on the west branch of the Mackenzie, the stuffy corridors of Miskatonic University seem very far away. Sun stifles the water from the glare of midday to the gentle burn of sunset. Caribou gaze at you from the shore. Ahead, a heron drags an unfortunate sickleback from the shallows. It would feel like a vacation were it not for the relentless demand of the paddle. Each day makes the students more adept at keeping time with you and Charlie. Your supply of gasoline is limited, so you run the outboard motor as seldom as possible. Sun and wind grant Bernard the outdoor complexion he desires. You locate the tributary one evening, just as the light begins to fail. Next day you launch into the North Hanninah. The Ram Mountains loom in the distance, through a heat haze. At this latitude, the summer nights are so short that darkness gives the waterways no time to cool. Norman wipes sweat from the back of his head. The North Hanninah is a rougher river than the West Branch. Its floodplain is obstructed by sandbars, hills of driftwood, shingle islands, forests of dead trees rooted in the mud. The current points all of them downstream, like arrows warning you to turn back. Sylvia turns to the guide. So Sylvia is one of my students. Sylvia Davidson. She is sort of mousy. She has thick-rimmed glasses and tight hair. She's a bit more serious, a bit more determined than the others. And as she turns to our guide, Charlie, do your people live in this area? Charlie grunts and watches the water. For a moment it seems she'll not answer. Then she looks at Sylvia. At one time. Now only outcasts. We'll avoid them. Where are they? Sylvia frowns. But Charlie raises a hand. From ahead, slowly building, you hear the roar of rushing water. This is not a place of splitting waters, she says. Here the river is alive. Each day it makes itself new. Make a luck roll. If you succeed, go to 2. If you fail, go to 3. Cool. Okay, so I'm using my dice tray. I get to roll real dice for this game. I'm also using a set of dice that was sent to us by Paladin. Paladin! Role-playing. Thank you for sending him. Okay. My luck is at an 85. So that's not too bad. 91. No! That's the worst. And you can't spend luck on luck. All right. Go to 3. The end. No, I'm just kidding. The river batters your craft from every side. No matter which way you turn, it gets worse. The canoe bucks like a saddled buffalo, bounding over sets of snaggling rapids. Your eye peaks and teeth. You eye peaks and teeth that could tear the belly of your craft. Make a pilot boat roll. If you succeed, go to 6. Oh no! I didn't take any pilot boat. Guys, this could be so short of an adventure. Okay, let's see if anyone has a pilot boat higher, because it did say I could use anyone else. So Sylvia has a 30. Norman has a 40. Charlie has a 60. And Bernard has a 30. So I'm going to use Charlie. She's our guide anyway. Yeah, my pilot is 1. So I turn to Charlie, who's already been talking to us, and I'm realizing the thing. Charlie, it's getting a bit rocky. Do you want to take the wheel? Tough to roleplay myself. Okay, 60. 73. Fuck. Should I use luck points? I feel like this is pretty early on. I have... Oh, Charlie has luck points too. I wonder if I can spend her luck points. Probably, right? There's no limit to how many luck points I can use, are there? Using luck points. You cannot spend luck points to alter damage rolls, luck rolls, sanity rolls. You may spend personal luck points to see if it fails. However, there will be very few opportunities to recover luck. Oh, it just says you can use Dr. Nadelmann's, not anyone else's. Guys, okay, let's just go with it. Fail. Go to 7. The river strikes your fragile vessel with a titanic uppercut, upending it and hurling your party into the surging boil. Make a luck roll. If you succeed, go to 12. All right. My luck again is... We might just have to reset this right away. My luck again is 85. 51. Ho, ho, ho. There we go. 12. Your 4 companions manage to hold on to the battered canoe. The current carries them to a drift-strewn sandbar. Charlie gets the students to safety as you fight the rushing water, thick with debris. It tosses you around. Make a swim roll. Oh my god. If you succeed, go to 13. Listen to this. Oh no. Make a swim roll. If you succeed, go to 13. If you fail, take 1d6 damage, then go to 13. If you fumble the roll, you are swept to your death in the churning waters. The expedition is over at the end. Fuck. Okay. Swim roll. 20. Guys. $19. Oh, nice. Okay, go to 13. Oh man. You struggle to shore. Your students cheer, but in their faces you can see it strike home. The difference between a field trip and a warm lecture hall. Your group has lost many of its supplies and some of its weapons into the river. Norman takes stock. All of your knives are safe, but the hatchets and rifles are packed separately. You search for the lost item. If you took damage in the river, you may attempt a first aid. I did not. If you succeed, recover this, blah, 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 blah. Choose how to distribute them between the members. Now make a luck roll. All right, let's do this again. $71, success. 25, okay. Whew. Turn it around. By miracle, you find the lost packs not far away, caught in a drift pile. Charlie nods a curt nod. You look at your graduate students and for the first time wonder if they're ready for this. All right. Everyone calm down. Look, this is the real world, okay? I know the lecture hall is warm and safe and cozy, and I understand that maybe you didn't understand what we were getting into when we were going on this expedition, but I want you to know that we're here, okay? We made it. We made it out. Charlie is comfortable with this area. Bernard, are you okay? And I look towards Bernard. He is the youngest of our group. He's like the cheery one, and no matter what, he usually is in good spirits. He's about 5'2". He's got curly blonde hair, and he's only about 22 years old. He smiles at me wide. No, of course, Professor. It's a little bit of cold water, or warm water rather. It's just it perks you right up. And he looks over to Sylvia, who's wringing the water from her hair. Again, she was the nervous one from earlier, and stuttering, she turns to me, Professor, this is not what I signed up for. But before she can finish, Norman, the sort of strong, stern one, says, it doesn't matter if that's not what you signed up for. This is what we're in for. And he shakes the water from his coat before putting it back on. Charlie, our guide, is just sort of staring off at the river as Llewellyn, as I again addressed him. I know, guys. But we're here now. We've recovered our supplies. We got our guns back. I think it's going to be all right. Restore all the weapons you lost. To press ahead with the expedition, go to 2. So all of that. So now we're back at 2. That's awesome. Oh, I'm so happy. So do you remember how we went on this big thing? Because basically it said, I know this is a bit meta, but it said originally, if you succeed, go to 2. So that whole thing just brought us back to 2. But it's also brought us closer together. So well done. Everyone's doing well. The expedition spends the day working through a baffling network of waterways. Sometimes you're forced to back down impassable channels to find an easier way. Sometimes you blunder across the heads of powerful chutes and are swept along with them. At certain points, your party has to wade in waist-deep water, inching the craft along by hand. You pass labyrinths of wooded islands, fast water, and drift. Finally, you select a peaceful backwater in which to moor and make camp for the night. Bernard, you see anything? Oh, there's a few out there. Yeah, it looks like maybe we could camp at one of those. It says roll a d10. If the result is even, go to 4. If it's odd, go to 5. That's a cracked die. 6, that's even. So we're going to go to 4. Bernard points to one of the islands and we paddle over. Slowly we unload the canoe. The equipment now dry from the afternoon sun. And despite the nervousness of what happened, the spillage of the first canoe, everything seems to be back on track. We start a fire, unload, pack up the tents. I sit down next to it and sort of review my notes about the expedition, the unexplored Canadian wilderness. And Sylvia walks over, sits next to me just before she gets ready to bed. I'm sorry, I lost my mindset back there. It was a bit nerve-wracking, really. Don't worry about it. Look, this is what it's about. And I kind of stand up. Llewellyn, the professor, I'm kind of, again, like a bit of Indiana Jones-ish. And he sort of looks out and speaks loud enough at the edge of the water for everyone to hear, those getting ready in their tents and those getting ready for the evening. This is the adventure, guys. This is what it's about. The wilderness, being out here alive. It fills you with a bit of invigoration. Yeah, we hit a rocky patch at the beginning. I saw you panic a little bit when you went over there, Norman. Norman's sort of, he's the kind of the gruff of the students. He's a 40-year-old guy, a little bit later, but he's still a student. It's fine. I know, look. This is the adventure. And together, we're each writing a story. When we get home, when all this is done, it'll just be another chapter that we've survived. And each of them is Sylvia and Bernard and Norman, and even Charlie for a moment. She's sort of stoic and standing on the edge of the campfire. She sort of arches an eyebrow. And yeah, they each sort of appreciate it. Bernard excitedly jumps into his sleeping bag. You take first watch that night, while the others sleep after an exhausting day. The brief darkness is disturbed by the splash of beavers in the stream, the trilling of insects, and the hoot of a gray owl. Ooh, ooh. Make a listen roll. If you succeed, go to 9. Interesting. 47? No. 20. So we go to 8. You hear nothing to disturb your watch. Oh, creepy. At midnight, you yawn and cross the tiny circle of firelight to where Bernard Epstein sleeps, whispering to wake him up. Bernard. When he makes no sound, I probe the shadows with my toe. You feel only sandy soil beneath the empty blankets. Bernard? The other members of your party scramble out of their beds, bleary. Be silent, barks Charlie. She takes a brand from the campfire and holds it aloft, passing it over the ground surrounding Bernard's blanket. She pauses. The brand trembles in her brown, leathery fist. Even your amateur's eyes can spark the impressions into the earth. I ask Charlie if there are tracks of the raccoon. It's not a raccoon, she says in an odd tone. She doesn't want to talk. Says make a persuade roll. It's not a raccoon. Well, what is it? Success! Yeah, persuade is 80 and we got a 55. 14. Listen, we're all in this together, as I said. My student is missing. What do you know? Pukwoogies, she murmurs. The little ones of the night. They do bad magic, turn invisible, walk through stone. Once my father saw a Pukwoogie the night a child vanished from our village. Around the cabin were tracks just like those. She trails off and points down to the dirt, and then stares off, as if looking into the past. It seems best to call for action. You instruct the party to fetch weapons, stay together, and begin the search for Bernard. Charlie snaps back to the present. Okay, everyone, listen. Take a deep breath. But Bernard is missing. Norman, the tough one, sort of flaps back his tent. What do you mean he's missing? There are tracks. We're going to follow them. Sylvia stutters and puts on her glasses. Listen. He might have just gone off to take a leak. And I sort of shoot a look towards Charlie, who arches an eyebrow again. Make a track roll for Charlie. So I couldn't have piloted the boat at the beginning. Whatever. We failed it anyway. So Charlie is going to track with an 80. 63, success. 23. Following subtle signs, Charlie leads your party along muddy ravines, over stony moraine ridges, and through silent trail stands of red pine. The air is damp and musty with the smell of decaying wood. The coiled new leaves of lady ferns thrust up in thickets along the route, opening like fingers from unclenching fists. Charlie freezes. She holds a hand up. What? Before you can react, Sylvia gives a shrill scream. Bernard dangles between two small aspens to which his wrists are tied. His head is nowhere to be seen. It has been cleaved off its shoulders. The stories about this river, they're true, Norman says. We must get out of the valley. Charlie declares, we must go, or we're going to die. Wow. Okay, so we have our first decision. Man, I liked Bernard. Sorry, Bernard. I guess the listen roll would have changed that? Wow. So to insist on seeking Bernard's killers, go to 137. To retreat from the valley, go to 32. I'm going to let you guys do the main decision. I'm going to post both options in the Discord chat. And give me a thumbs up emoji if you want to. So you can, in Discord, you can react to individual comments on the right side. I want to give a thumbs up for what you want. And after about 30 seconds, I'm going to pick which one has the most thumbs, and we're going to do that. See? Involved. How's everybody liking it so far? I'm excited. I'm really glad we didn't die so quickly. So far, we have 6 votes for look for killers and 1 vote for retreat. While you're doing this, I'm gonna reward a little bit of XP. So, how can I do this? I'm gonna do Call of Cthulhu, Q's. So I started a new Discord chat underneath Call of Cthulhu, alone in the Alone Against the Frost. It's called Call of Cthulhu Q's. And I'm going to ask a question right after this. And the first person to answer it is going to win some experience points. Okay? Let's say the first 3 people to answer it will each get the first 2 people will each get an experience point. You're ready? Question is, what was the name of the magician in the first Call of Cthulhu game? If you know the answer, type that in Call of Cthulhu Q's. First 3 answers posted will get a XP. And you can spend it tonight. Remember, at any point, if you want to aid a roll, just spend one of these XPs that I'm rewarding you in the Call of Cthulhu XP spending spot, and I will roll with advantage, which means I'll roll my percentile twice. Mike Kyle has a correct answer, Colin has a correct answer, and Michael and Brianna has a correct answer. Well done. You 3 have just 1 experience. Did I say 3? 3. Let's give it to 3. Mike, Kyle, Colin, and Michael and Brianna. So you guys can give XP at any point. If you want to do it for a specific roll, just post, next time he rolls persuasion or something like that. Okay. So we have 8 votes for look for killers, and we have 7 votes for retreat. Looks like we're looking for killers, guys. To our knowledge, there's only been 1 Invictus total party kill. Will this be the second? Maybe. We'll find out. All right. We are going to seek Bernard's killers, 137. It's much further in the game, so this might be a bad thing. I don't know if the order matters, but 137. Without warning, Charlie raises her rifle and trains it on you. You don't listen. Your kind never listens. Die if you must. I will take no part in this. She runs to the canoe, throws in some supplies, and shoves off. Oh no! Charlie! I turn to Sylvia and Norman. Listen, it's okay. We need to find Bernard's killers, though. You know this is important. And I think Norman and Sylvia are going to agree. Or Norman would agree, I think. He's going to be like, of course. Sylvia sort of, what do we do now? We're lost. We don't know the way. Listen, it's going to be okay. It says record the keyword barefoot. Okay. To track Bernard's killers, go to 87. To give up and try to take your remaining charges out of this evergreen wasteland on foot, go to 324. I think we're going to remain, right? Actually, I'll let you guys vote again. I'm going to say Stay the course. Oops. Or go home. You guys vote again. I'm going to ask another question while we're doing this. Next question is, who wrote The Legend of Drizzt? First 3 answers will get XP. 5 votes for stay the course. Let's just stay the course. There was no votes for anything else. Okay. Where were we? Oh, shit. 137. Stay the course, 87. I started scrolling up without knowing what I was doing. That was a bad idea. 87. The vast woodland confronts you. Can you read what it conceals? Make a track roll. So Charlie's gone. This might be a short game, guys. Okay. Track. Oh no, 10%. Can I use, actually I can use someone else's. Sylvia has 10%. Norman's got 15. Let's do it, Norman. Yeah, no, 73. If you fail, go to 58. You're not quite the woods person you thought you were. You lose the threads of Bernard's trail and are unable to pick them up again. You may have to accept the situation that you lost your guide, your canoe, and one of your young charges. You still have the option of trying to accomplish something towards your original mission. To search for Bernard at random, go to 59. To continue the expedition, go to 75. To return to civilization, go to 54. Wow. So, do we continue trying to search for Bernard? Search for Bernard at random. Continue to expedition. Return to civilization. Vote on these 3. Let's do it. Thumbs up. Search for Bernard at random, continue the expedition, or return to civilization. We did not find Bernard. R.A. Salvatore, R.A. Salvatore, R.A. Salvatore. There you go. Carly, Michael and Brianna, and Alexandra. You both get 3 right answers. Don't worry about not giving me XP. I don't need it. So only one person wants to search for Bernard at random. Continue the expedition. You did not find Bernard. Oh, well, you found him without a head, I should say. Oh, yeah, I guess we're... Wait, you're right. Hold on. Did I read... To search for Bernard. Are we looking for Bernard? We did find Bernard, right? Hold on, we have to go back. I'm confused. 57 was where we were. Wait, no. Where were we? We were at 87? Weren't we? Yeah, and then we went to 137. Yeah, it says to track Bernard's killers, go to 87. To give up and try to make your remaining charges out of this evergreen. To track Bernard's killers, go to 87. $58. You lose the threads of Bernard's trail. To search for Bernard at random. Okay, so it must be... There must be a way later on that maybe Bernard just leaves and then we like have to look for him. I think it's probably like just a editing mistake. Oh well, okay, so you guys voted continue the expedition. Let's do it. Ba-bam. Norman and Sylvia follow you in silence. You suspect they think you obsessive for continuing after the loss of Bernard and Charlie. You do not try to explain yourselves. I picture us walking sort of quietly and solemnly after giving up on Bernard. Maybe at first they expect that we're returning. Are we going to head back towards the... No. No, we're not. What do you mean we're not? Listen, we set out here for a reason. We have a fully funded mission. We got to continue it. What do you mean? Bernard's dead. I know that, but us going back isn't going to change anything. And Sylvia just sort of stares at me wide-eyed. Yeah, they would be so confused. Llewellyn would be like, I think I am. I'm getting a bit of Heart of Darkness obsessive about it. It's been so long that I've wanted to get out here and search and understand what the Canadian wilderness provides and all that kind of stuff. That now that we're here, I can't leave without something. Not to mention, the wheels in my head are turning at the prospect of what killed Bernard. Along your trek, you come upon a gorge and elect to follow it. A mile or so upstream, you find a crevasse in the mountainside, the source of the stream. Since the creek runs rapidly here, it'll be hazardous to attempt to wade through in order to explore the valley below. If any of your party require healing, you may restore 1 hit point each. To pitch camp and rest before retracing your course, go to 124. To try to wade through the hidden valley, go to 125. Would we pitch, or would we continue on? I mean, retracing our course? Yeah, what do we want to do? I'll post here. Retrace the corpse, or try to wade through. Vote. I should have a vote thread, really, not the main chat. But, you know, if you're watching this. Is this my diamond axe? Side quest in the valley. In the valley. In the valley. What do we got? 4-4. We're going to need some more votes, people. And spend some of the XP to help me. Gosh. Retrace the corpse. So we have 5-4. Try to wade in the hidden valley. Now here we go. If you have to track again, use my XP for an extra roll. Thank you, John. Thank you. I think I might need some XP for wading through the water. So maybe someone should spend it on that. Because it looks like we're going to try to wade through the hidden valley. Try to wade into the hidden valley, 125. Here we go. With a touch of dread, you study the submerged ledge that runs through the fissure. But daring the rushing water is the only way to reach the canyon beyond. Make a luck roll. Alright, tell me someone was sweet. You have 7? Does anyone want to spend some of this XP that I just gave you to let me roll with advantage, please? XP for swim. I don't want to swim. I want to wade in the water. Fine. Thank you, Zia. Or somebody who just won. I'm going to do it. So my first luck roll. Oh, I don't need it. It's a 7. That's good. That's really good. Succeed. 174. The 3 of you make it through the fissure safely. At your first breath of the interior air, you pause in wonder. Only in the tropics have you smelled air like this. The air is humid, thick with the odor of rapid decay. It takes no more than a few yards' walk to see that the foliage around you is lush and utterly different from the growth of the taiga. You've heard theories, crank you thought, that there existed a boxed-in valley that trapped the warmth. Chinook winds, a valley irrigated and heated by volcanic waters. Under such special conditions, the climate might be held stable for millennia. That would account for the strange prehistoric flora. Could mammals from the Ice Age also survive here? Record the word inch cape. Okay. I've never heard that word. To leave the valley in hopes of raising a serious expedition, go to 216. To gather some specimens, go to 225. I think I know what we're going to do, but I'll let you guys vote. Look at the size of that thing. Jungle bugs. You're going to keep that XP because I didn't have to use it. I didn't have to use it. Everyone's voting gather some specimens. I knew it. 8 votes. All right, let's gather some specimens. We came this far. You quickly confirm your discovery of a redoubt of unprecedented prehistoric survival. Animal tracks attributable to no modern beast of the North abound in the sand and bubbly mud. However, your specialty is anthropology. Your paleontology studies have been limited. Make a natural world roll. Fuck yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. 60. $60 on the nose. Wow. I wish I could show this to you guys. You can't really see. But that's... Well... It rolled. I promise it was a 60. Wow, that's lucky. That's a success. 269. While exploring a prehistoric glade, you chance upon a stand of plants, of a very species recently described in detail by your Miskatonic colleague, the paleobotanist Ivan Kurtov. The species was thought extinct before the Paleostoic glaciations, yet here it is all around you, still flourishing. You can easily take leaves, roots, cuttings, and seeds to convince Miskatonic's geology and botany departments to sponsor a major expedition. God. I turned to Sylvia and Norman. Norman has been looking like tired, gaunt, and thin as we've been pushing through. Sylvia sort of is just nervous, but that curious side of her brain has kicked back in. Norman, Sylvia, this is it. Look. This proves so much. We can take this back. We can have another expedition. We can... And Norman sort of says, Bernard's dead. I know. And I am so sorry. And he will get as much recognition as possible for it. You don't understand. Bernard is dead. Sylvia, you must understand the... No, of course, Professor. It's just that I think Norman is trying to say that this entire endeavor was a suicide mission. Norman, I am so sad at Bernard's passing. But whatever it is, it's gone now, and we have found exactly what we needed. Norman sort of like turns around and leaves the cage, and Sylvia and I lock eyes for a moment. But I am kind of unfazed by Bernard's death. It doesn't even dawn on me how sickening that is, that I am so motivated by this power, this idea of what we have found. Excitedly, I pack the specimens and turn around and head back to the valley of North Hanninah. Record the keyword backwater. I have no idea what these keywords are for. Go to 217. To exit the valley, the 3 of you must dare the dangerous waterway that brought you here. You lead the way, followed by Sylvia and then Norman. Make a dex roll for each member of the party. Wow, and there's options for everything. So, if anyone wants to help me with some dex rolls, you let me know. I'm going to give you guys a chance to see if you want to give me some bonuses to dexterity. And you can give bonus to me, Sylvia, or Norman, or all three. I'm going to let you guys decide. So you choose. Who wants to see a picture of Norman? That's my boy Norman. Here's Sylvia. You can see she stutters. Come on. It's not focusing. The other two are gone, so it doesn't really matter. Who's giving me XP? No. Okay. Michael and Brianna are giving XP for Sylvia's dex roll. John says you can use an XP for dex from me only for you and Sylvia. From me only for you and Sylvia. Okay, so Sylvia has advantage and I have advantage. No one is giving Norman advantage. Let's do this. So Norman. So I'm going to take XP from Michael and Brianna for Sylvia first. So let's do this. So her dexterity is 65. That's not bad. But she failed, so 70. I'm going to re-roll this. 80. She failed. Should I spend 5? 5? No, that's kind of interesting. Okay, so she fails. I'm going to go now. Oh, no, let's do Norman. So he doesn't have any advantage. No one gave him any. And he fails too. And now I'm going to go with advantage. Wow, I am rolling shit. I succeeded. So, okay, so I succeeded. The other two fail. Wow. If both Norman and... Oops, crap. I just clicked on the wrong thing. What was it? What was I at? 217? Yeah. So if both Norman and Sylvia miss, go to 473. Perfect. First Sylvia, then Norman are swept off the ledge and flushed down the wild stream. You struggle back to solid ground and run along the narrow canyon, trying to keep them in sight. They hit white water and disappear over a ridge. You linger in the area for a day or two, searching, hoping that either or both of them get out by themselves. But you find no tracks. Wow. Okay. Oh my god, we have a lot of options right now. I'm just going to post them now while I read this, because you guys need to decide. There's so many options here. I think I'm going to start a new chat. Call of Cthulhu Decisions, it's going to be called. It is going to be under the main chat, and I'm just going to post this text, because I'm going to have to read the dialogue. And then you guys can vote. So vote on Call of Cthulhu Decisions. I posted a bunch there. Oh, wait, hold on. I have to do them as one by one. Only there were an easy way. Give me 1 second. There we go. So go to Decisions. Vote on what you'd like me to do while I read this next part. Despondent over the prospect of a trek through the wildest stretch of the Northwest Territories, you ram your way through the bush with bitter violence. Thunder rumbles in the western mountains like the echo of distant drums. The peaks fade into a lowering canopy of clouds. Llewellyn lost Bernard, and it felt like a rite of passage to earn the artifacts that he keeps in his backpack right now. It was sad at the time, but as he pushed on, motivated for the expedition to continue, he grew confident that Bernard was the sacrifice that party would have to make. But at Sylvia and Norman's loss, at their disappearance and death, he is not sad, but violent. He's angry. at the wilderness and blames everything but himself. He's motivated still, happy that he has the things in his backpack, but he moves through with almost a visceral certainty wherever he may go. You wade a small river and then cross a pine ridge. The scenery blurs together as you go. In the days that follow, you try to fish with your bare hands, eat whatever you can kill, and take the berries that grow along the way. You are undergoing a test that would daunt a seasoned frontiersman. If you require healing, you may blah, blah, blah. Nope, I don't need healing. If you require healing, you may restore 1 hit point. Make a survival woodland roll. If you succeed, go to 513. If you fail, you have several options. Oh, so I have options only if I fail this roll. Okay, well, luckily, I've planned a lot for my survival. So I'm sorry, guys. Those options might not come out. Survival woodland. Let's do this. 80 is my survival woodland. 60 on the dot. I'm rolling like on the numbers a lot. Zeros, I mean. So we succeeded. 513 is where we go. We don't have to do all those options. It is time to decide the course of your expedition. Fort McDonald lies within your reach. You may go there to end your experience in the North Hanninah. If you still have an appetite for exploration, you may take a short side trip, or even strike back out to the depths of the valley. Okay. To return to Fort McDonald. Hold on, let's do this. So we have 3 options, actually. New. Okay, so we have... No, that's the wrong thing. We have this one. Return to Fort McDonald. Take a side trip. And then it says, if your party still has at least 3 members, you may return to the wilds. Which we do not. What are you growling at? Not stick to the river. Sorry, I'm going to delete that. There we go. So we can return to Fort McDonald or take a side trip. You guys decide. Take a side trip? I knew you would. Okay. Side trip. 594. Of course, you must return to Fort McDonald, but there is time for one last side trip in hopes of learning a little more about the North Hanninah Valley. If you still have all your companions, nope. If you have all 3 graduate students, but not Charlie, nope. If you have Norm and Sylvia, nope. If you have 2 companions, nope. If you have 1, nope. If you are alone, go to 597. Despite the risks and your weakened condition, you diverge from the direct route to Fort McDonald, determined to explore as much as the valley as possible before you quit. Are we sure we wouldn't want to go back? Nope. 9 votes. Okay. Okay, I'm going to make this decision because I'm sick of posting. To strike deep into the forest, go 501. To hug the tree line, go 494. To explore rocky environs, go 427. To stick to the river, make a luck roll. If you succeed, go to 126. If you fail, go to 119. Oh boy. No, I'm going to let you guys decide because honestly, I don't know. Forest, tree line, rocky, river. Forest, trees, rocks, rivers. You guys vote. Whew. I'm going to read a bit of the chat. Louis, it's just a car horn. Shh. Hey. Go to bed. Forest, trees, rocks. Most people want the rocks. Let's do it. Rocky environs, 427. After each day of lonely travel, you spread your tattered sleeping blanket on an anonymous rock, concerned only that it be dry. This one seems like any other. What? Oh, make a science geology roll. Okay. I don't have science geology, so it's going to be I have 1. No, 38 if I fail. 5:13. It is time you decide it is time to decide the course of your expedition. Fort McDonald lies within. It's the same question. Return to Fort McDonald or take a side trip to go to. So it's side trip or return to Fort McDonald. I mean, or we go back alone. I don't know. What do you think? So it's either 594 or yeah, what was it? 594? 594. Yeah. 594 or back to Fort McDonald. What do you guys think? Return? Alexander's saying return. Let's try it. I want to know what happens. Okay. So we're going to go back to Fort McDonald. You pass the place of splitting water with no particular difficulty and reach the calmer waterways of the West Branch. The foraging is ample now. You recover strength as you draw near Fort McDonald. 4:33. After so many days on the river and nights in the woods, it feels strange to sit in a stifling room and answer questions about your conduct. If you lost any members of your party or have confirmed their death, multiply the number of such losses by 15. This is your liability score. Oh boy. If you lost any members of your party or have confirmed their death. So I've lost everybody. So what, 15 times 4? 60. Roll a 1d20. If it's greater than your liability score, okay. No, 43. If the result is equal or less, go to 531. When you report your party's misfortunes as analyzed by the Canadian authorities, they take you into custody and bring formal charges against you. They seem uninterested in any evidence of your discoveries. Oh boy. Your trial lasts weeks, during which every field decision you made is questioned. It's almost a relief when you're convicted of gross negligence and contributory manslaughter. You are incarcerated in a Canadian penitentiary where you become withdrawn and isolated, staring from your cell at the distant woodlands. A year later, you become eligible for parole. The committee looks favorably on your conduct. Once you are free to leave Canada, you return to your ruined career in the U.S. You've lost your position at the university, and evidence that you brought back to the has been neglected due to your confinement. All the most important pieces are lost or ruined. Nevertheless, you attempt to publish your findings. Your article only draws sensational press attacks. Wow, that's depressing. We shouldn't have gone back to Fort McMurray. I didn't lose Charlie, didn't I? Did I? I guess I was supposed to roll over that number. I guess that was the one time that a high number was bad. Damn. We didn't even get to the frosts. Well, what do we do now? The Canadian justice system is lax, says you. Should we redo? Let's do just a total redo. Back to the beginning. It's not your fault, Alexander. I kind of wanted to see what's going on too. Let's rewind to the beginning. Let's take a short intermission and do it again. I'm gonna I'm gonna play the credits again. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, that was take 1 of Alone Against the Frost. Now it's time for part 2, the redo. Whoops. Time for an expedition, I say. let's do this again. This time we know there's going to be a few things. I'm not going to read the whole intro again. I'm going to just start at number 2, because that's where we go. Oh no, it's a luck roll. That's right. So, yeah, we're just going to start at number 2. The expedition spends the day working through a baffling network of waterways. Sometimes you're forced to back down impassable channels to find an easier way. Sometimes you blunder across the heads of powerful chutes that are swept along with them. At certain points, your party has to wade in the waist-deep water, inching the craft along by hand. You pass labyrinths of wooded islands, fast water, and drift. Finally, you select a peaceful backwater in which to moor and make camp for the night. Roll a 1d10. So it went even. Let's just choose odd this time. Right? Why not? Your first night along the North Hanninah passes without mishap. You must now decide whether to press on hard to penetrate deep into the region or set a more leisurely pace. Let's press on. 10. At dawn, you set off again. The day turns into a scorcher. Rocks in the stream are hot to the touch. There is beauty under the shimmering heat, too. The wet sands by the water's edge are hidden under the vibrating carpet of blue. A host of small azure butterflies basking in the warmth. Pausing a moment from your canoeing, you scan the shores for any sign of life. You catch a flash of something standing by the river shore, half hidden by the bushy juniper. Before you can adjust your binoculars, the stranger is out of sight. Investigate or continue until camping? Stay hydrated, folks. I think I'm going to continue. 20. Paddling is a familiar rhythm now, and you permit periods of rest using the outboard motor. Your determined group proceeds mile after mile towards your primary goal, Headsman's Glen. The valley is crowded in by steep hills, small mountains, and rough stands of jack pines, black spruces, balsam firs. Following Charlie's advice, your party sets up a semi-permanent camp, giving access to fish and game, as well as some refuge, should the local police prove hostile. Local people, prove hostile. Although in this day and age. In the days that follow, your party makes periodic excursions seeking evidence of human inhabitants. It begins to look like you will be disappointed. If any of your party requires healing, you restore 1 hit point each, then go to 21. Following another day of fruitless exploration along the floor of the valley, your party fixes a hearty supper of stone-baked biscuits, jerky, and beans. That sounds good. Gnats and mosquitoes swarm close, but the smoke from their fire drives the worst of the pests away. While you eat, you notice Charlie is withdrawn from the group. You attempt to include her by asking if she has any campfire songs or hair-raising stories. It's bad luck to speak of such things, she grunts. The woods do not like to be mocked. She gets to her feet and scans the perimeter of the camp, sniffing the air, and I raise an eyebrow. Moose, she says. Before you can frame your question, it is nothing. It's time we went to bed. You draw a deep breath, scenting nothing but the food and smoke, the fresh odor of the river. Nonetheless, Charlie's manner is affecting your party's mood, and they're ready to call it a day. To take the first watch for yourself, go to 40. To trust it to Bernard, go to 46. Well, we know what happened to Bernard last time, so let's go 40. Your watch passes without incident, but later you shiver in your sleep. The chill is brought home to you when Charlie reaches into your small tent and shakes you awake. Professor, come quickly. The guide snaps. You throw on your jacket and follow her. Outside, you stare at the grass, the stones, the needles of the conifers, all the gray with a frosty rime. This seems impossible. It's still summer. Look. Charlie croaks, pointing at the spot where Bernard sat to begin his watch. The graduate student lies half hidden beneath a stump, curled up. You gasp. Epstein has been reduced to a shrunken, flabby, drooling thing. His bloodless forehead is caved in like a deflated basketball. How he can still be alive in the condition is beyond your ken. Sylvia brings a blanket and you wrap Bernard in the heavy wool. As you do so, you notice a somewhat repugnant odor in the cold air. When you grasp the young man's jacket, your fingers slip from the grayish grease that coats him. What? He lies half hidden behind a stump, curled up. Epstein has been reduced to a shrunken, flabby, drooling thing. His bloodless forehead is caved in like a deflated basketball. Weird. So he's like drained? My fingers slip from a grayish grease that coats him. Wow. To confront this mystery and perhaps seek revenge, go to 41. To flee, go to 43. All right, I'm going to clear this channel for decisions. This is decisions round 2. And I'm going to let you guys decide on some of these again. So, flee, investigate. So, vote now in the decisions channel. Collins says flee. Brains got sucked out. Brain suckers. Oh, wait, the moose. So far we're doing much better, I think. We've come along a lot more. So far it's tied, guys. 3-3. Come on. Come down on one side. Oh, Dustin, you're cute. You're listening and you messaged me. Dustin said, only about 6 minutes ago, go back to the failed listen roll and sees what happens on a success. What was the failed listen roll? Oh, when we heard him. Well, we started again anyway. Dustin, we miss you. It's still 5-5, guys. I need a call. You know what? I'll roll for it then. It's 5-5. Let's say 5 or higher is flee. That's a 9. Flee. Let's flee in terror. 43. You and the others gather your gear in haste and place it in a canoe with Bernard. Charlie revs up the motor, burning an extravagant amount of fuel in her eagerness to get away from the haunted shore. With all eyes fixed on the forbidden banks of Headsman's grave, no one sees Bernard's body quicken until it's too late. Norman yells as the stricken youth springs at him, clawing with his nails, snapping with his teeth, howling like an animal. His lunatic struggle threatens to capsize the canoe. You, Charlie, and Sylvia grab at Bernard together. Make dex rolls for Charlie, Sylvia, and yourself. I'm going to roll with... total the strength scores of everybody who succeeds. Use a total and make a opposed roll against his insane strength of 93. Wow. Okay. I'm going to carry over some of those advantages that you guys gave us. But let's do Charlie first. Now she's back. And Sylvia. Let's do... Bernard just dies. That's his job. Okay, let's do Sylvia first. And she is going to... Oh, you know what? I'm going to spend 3 luck points. And she succeeds. Total the strength scores of everybody succeeds. So her strength is 50. And then we're going to do... Charlie... Ooh, she doesn't have good dex. And she's going to roll with advantage because I know some people gave it. Oh, and that was a waste. Nope, so she doesn't succeed. And then me. And I'm going to roll with advantage too because I was given some XP. There we go. Okay, and my strength is 65. That's our combined total of 115. So, it says... total the strength scores of everybody succeeds, which is 115. Use that total to make an opposed skill roll against Bernard's insane strength of 93. If you overcome Bernard, come to 44. I don't know what that means, but 115 is higher than 93, so I'm just going to say that succeeds. I don't know what it is. Your party manages to wrestle Epstein away from Norman. He topples over the side of the canoe. As the splash drenches your group, Bernard sinks into the swift current. For an instant, you glimpse him swimming with a strange stroke near the dark bottom, and then nothing. Norman is scratched and shaken by the attack, but otherwise unharmed. Charlie works the motor, and the rest of your group pitch in with paddles. You spend a peaceful day returning downriver. The next day out, a downpour turns the water savage, whisking you around a cliff bend and down the long mile of the sequence of rapids. Make a pilot boat roll if you succeed. Yeah, I'm going to use Charlie again. I think you can use these people. It just said as long as they're not asleep or whatever, you can use them. So I'm going to use Charlie. Pilot boat 60. Yes, succeed. Good. 42. Wait, what was it? Oh, your party's boating skills pull you through without mishap. Make a luck roll. Oh, boy. Come on. Now I spent how many luck points? 3. So I'm at 82. 13. 513. Oh, no. Stupid thing. It is time to decide your course. Fort McDonald lies within your reach. You may go back to end your expedition. No, we're not going back. We're taking a side trip. Oh, if your party still has at least 3 members, you may return to the wilds. 425. I'm returning. Every field trip is a rare opportunity that must be fought for. Miskatonic is a wonderful institution, but the discoveries that change the known world are made here on the fringes. You cannot give up. If it has all of its personnel, go to 602. If 2 students remain, go to 600. So 200. You press on through the interminable landscape. You have unlocked the keyword Inchcape, which I had from last time, so I'm just going to circle it. There. Go to 601. Oh, if you have the word Inchcape. Oh, I don't. Sorry. To scale a ridge, to stick close to the river, to hold a parallel course, to thread through the light woodland, to penetrate deeper into the forest. Let's penetrate deep into the forest. To avoid a riverside march, you weave through a forest of mature larch. What? The uneven terrain makes you wish that Charlie was still with your party. What? Oh, hold on. Something's wrong. She is most definitely still with the party. If your party still has at least 3 members, if the expedition is all, if 2 students remain, if Charlie alone has been lost, if Bernard alone has been lost. I clicked on the wrong thing. My apologies. When you announce your intent to divert the party, Charlie stares at you like you lost your mind. It is madness to return to the evil place. I will not do so. To give up the idea and return to civilization, to remind Charlie who pays her when her trip is over. I don't know. I guess we got to go back to civilization. I mean, she says it's madness to return to that evil place. I will not do so. She's just going to leave the party. Well, let's just return to civilization, I guess. 593. We have no expeditions. But maybe we'll at least, you know. Oh, your lack of hard evidence will undermine your credibility. Oh boy. Yeah, no, let's not do that. When was the last big decision we made? We were like heading back upriver. We shouldn't have left. That's always the bad idea. Shit, it was so long ago, I don't remember. 513 was what we went to. Yeah, I have no idea what it came from. Does anyone remember what we last did? What number it was before everything went weird? Does anyone remember what like the combat in the... I don't remember the number of the fucking fighting. I don't remember any real numbers. It was going good for a while. Let me see if I can do it quickly. We went to 2. 10. Paddle to the shore to investigate. We continued. 20. If any of your party require healing, go to 21. She gets to her feet. Take the first watch yourself. To confront the mystery and seek revenge. To flee the valley in terror. So here was our big thing. We decided to flee the valley in terror when Bernard got brain sucked. So we are instead going to confront the mystery. Okay? So we woke up. Bernard had his brain sucked. We're confronting. You and Charlie search the area for clues. She finds some very strange tracks leaving the camp. They follow straight, as if made by a one-legged hopper. The prints are round and convex. Each gives you a faint bluish vapor and is glazed with ice. You scratch around one track with your knife and find out how deeply the ice extends. Frustrated, you dig with the blade, only to find a rock-hard column of ice and sand that seems to have no end. The warmth of the morning sun evaporates the rime surrounding the camp, but does not melt the ice in the tracks. You feel an increasing headache, a complaint echoed by all 3 of your otherwise sound companions. Following the round tracks out of camp adds to the mystery. Where they cross streams, they leave icy circlets at the bottom of the running water that is not worn down. The prints show that where the intruder's feet touch solid matter, they annihilated it. In one place where a track steps on Bernard's hatchet, a circle of steel has vanished, blinked clean out of existence. What in God's name are you up against? Charlie tags after you and babbles legends about a killer who comes with a cold. You do not want to find what you seek, she says. I will leave this place. You and the young people must go return with me to Fort McDonald, or I will go alone. So she's like always gonna leave. To let Charlie go while you search for the cold killer, go to 69. To listen to her urgings, go to 42. Yeah, I'm not going to leave again. 69. You order Norman and Sylvia to wait at the camp and stay alert. You have no right to endanger the lives of your remaining students. Armed to the teeth, you settle alone on the trail of the cold killer. The peculiar trail of the creature, the monotonous pattern of circular ice patches make it easy to track. The tracks scar deep and distinctly in the soil. Later, well past supper time, the air takes on a deep penetrating chill which pierces your hunting jacket. The moss and pine needles around you whiten with hoarfrost. On the other side of the wooded knoll, you catch the sound of a moving machine. With a bullet ready in the chamber, you prepare to face your foe. To climb the hill and see what's on the other side, go to 121. To lose your nerve and retreat, let's climb the fucking hill. Gritting your teeth and steeling your heart, you sink to your hands and knees, crawl to the top of the rise of the forest, and peer over the top to see the thing that has attacked Bernard. Make a sanity roll. About time. Oops. I dropped my die. Caught it in my knees. 74. My sanity is 80. If you fail, lose 1d6. Nope. 166. You gaze down upon alien horror, a monster belched by cosmic accident from the dimension of a nightmare. Somehow your sanity holds and you are able to study it. The side of your body that faces it feels cold, as if the creature drains heat energy from its environment, perhaps for nourishment. Starfish-like legs radiate from one malignant eye, the center of its body. It looks something like an upright set of spokes with no wheels. Gain 2 points of Cthulhu Mythos. Plus 2. Cthulhu Mythos. To fire at the creature, it's a bad idea. To lay face down and hide, make a stealth roll if you succeed. Okay, let's hide. What's our stealth? 20. $95. Does anyone want to give me XP? Oh, Carly said next person. Come on, Carly. Come on. Oh, 1! 15. 13. Fuck, yeah, succeed. Whew. Thank you, Carly. If you succeed, go to 171. 171. Oh, glad to have escaped the cold killer, you rejoin the comrades at camp. Ho, 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 ho. Norman and Sylvia run towards you, relieved to see them still fit and upright, but your stomach sinks when you realize your expectations have changed. Roll 1d10. If odd, even. 6, even. If even, go to 650. 1 minute Bernard was lying by the fire unconscious like you left him. The next minute he was gone, Norman says. We followed his tracks to the river. As far as we can tell, they go in and don't come out. A search of the area confirms his report. You can do nothing further. Head back to the fort. Continue exploring. Continue exploring. You press on through the landscape. If you have the keyword nope, to scale a ridge. Let's scale a ridge. 69. Right? I think it was 469. Yeah. There is a tang of autumn in the air. This suggests that it will be an early fall, which worries you, as it means early snow in the Northland. As you ponder this, a narrow but deep ravine cuts across your way, and the rushing stream within seems too rapid to cross safely. Look, Norman says, pointing at the tree that's fallen across the ravine. We can use that for a bridge. Sylvia pokes at it with her stick and shakes her head. It's rotten. It might not hold our weight, even one at a time. Norman seems petulant, but you support Sylvia. You make camp in the vicinity. As you open your eyes to the morning light, you hear a great cracking sound, is immediately followed by Norman's baritone cry and Sylvia's running feet. Groggy, you race towards the sound and spot the students. Norman hangs from the edge of the ravine, prevented from falling by no more than Sylvia's arm, the idiot. Despite your warning, he tested the strength of the tree bridge, and it collapsed. Whether you can prevent tragedy depends on how long Sylvia can hold on. Make an opposed roll for Sylvia's strength against Norman's size. If Sylvia wins, wow. What's an opposed roll? How do my dice look? Oh, these are the ones that I got for free from Paladin. So if you watch the unboxing video that I posted, they're red and they're cute. They're definitely my type of color. Okay, an opposed roll for Sylvia's strength against Norman's size. I think it's the higher success. I don't know. I don't remember. Sylvia's strength. Ooh, 25. That's a hard success. And Norman's size is 60. I don't really know. Yeah, that's 70. So he failed. So I think Sylvia wins. Let's just call it that. You grab Sylvia's feet just as she begins to slide down after Norman. You battle for a few seconds until you both have them safely up on the cliff beside you. Your party can spare little time to celebrate its preservation. The odds are still against returning home safely. Make a luck roll. 8. Critical or extreme. 513. Oh, 513. I know 513 because it's going to say, do you want to fucking go back? I don't have 3 members. I'm going to do side trip. If I have Norman and Sylvia, I have 2 companions. 324. You and your 2 students travel over trackless woods and short rations. From day to day, the air cools, and the short summer declines into rugged subarctic autumn. If any of your party require healing, nope. If you follow the river, go to 470, scale a ridge to thread through light woodland to penetrate deeper into the forest to concentrate on finding supplies. Let's concentrate on finding supplies. That sounds interesting. Make a luck roll. 70, success. 654. By a stroke of luck, your party stumbles upon an abandoned cabin stocked with rusty but edible food tins. This happy discovery solves your food problem for the time being. There's no trace of the person who built the cabin, probably a prospector or hunter who fell victim to the hazards of the valley. You may make an improvement check for your luck score. Ooh, nice. To gain 1d10. Oh, improvement check is I have to roll above it, I think. I got a 1. Improvement check, I have to roll above my luck, right? Yeah, because rolling below is easy if it's high. You want to roll above. Right? Hold on. It always makes sense, the improvement rules. I'm a photographer. I have 40% photographer. It is harder to roll. The better you are at something, the harder it should be to gain. Therefore, you need to roll over. Yeah. Yes. So, no, I don't get an improvement. Go to 77. You and the others make your beds in the decrepit shell of the old cabin. The sagging walls afford some shelter from the chilly wind. Though the conditions of the roof makes you hope it doesn't rain. The frogs are noisy outside, but you think you hear something. You ask for silence and listen. There, the rustle of unsteady feet walking through the dead matting of the forest floor. You tell the students to arm themselves before stepping outside. Your rifle wavers. You see a white man. His beard is wild and greasy. He's naked except for rags wrapped around his feet and an animal hide tied to his waist. The crazed expression on his face worries you, but he carries no weapon. To shoot him, to put aside your gun and help the wretch to the fire. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to shoot the guy. You urge Sylvia to bring hot soap for the stranger. Soup. Fuck, I cannot read. While you stand looking at the man, unease builds in your stomach. His face is repulsive and oddly proportioned. Make an anthropology roll. Oh, it's going to be like a caveman. What do you bet? 48 for an 80. Yup. Succeed. 176. In a flash, you remember the legends of the Wind Walker, those who go mad in the Northland and become possessed by cannibal demons of the wild. You shake your head. You must be going woods happy to consider such nonsense. At that moment, Sylvia returns from the campfire carrying a bowl of broth for the stranger. He glances into the steaming bowl with a look of disgust and pushes it away, spilling some of the hot stuff on her leg. The Wind Walker is a creature of ice, you remember. It dares not drink anything hot as broth. To slay the stranger immediately, go to 177. If you need more proof that he's a windwalker, go to 178. I don't know. That's a tough one. So what does he do? He just looks weird, right? You remember the legends of the Wind Walker. Those who go mad in the Northland become possessed by cannibal demons. You shake your head. Slay the stranger immediately. Or I need more proof. I'm going to need more proof. I mean, I'm not going to just kill a guy. 178. Legend says that the Windwalkers have strange feet. You let the suspect sleep. When you think he's in deep slumber, you creep towards him. To get the proof you need, you must merely open the bandages and examine his feet without waking him. Make a sleight of hand roll. Oh, shit. %. Okay, here we go. Four. Oh, success. 204. You part the bandages without waking the sleeper. Roll a 1d6. If the result is 1 to 4. Oh, I guess they don't even know if it is. Maybe if you kill him, it's like revealed. So 1 to 4, go to 205. He has no feet, only blackened bestial hooves. What the fuck? He's no longer human, but a horror masquerading in a human body. He must be destroyed before he consumes the rest of you. You remember the legends that you have heard about the Windwalker. To kill such a beast, its icy heart must be melted. You steal back to the fire, grab a stiff burning brand, and creep back to the monster. Make a stealth roll. Oh my god. Okay, guys, I need some XP. Give me some XP. Because my stealth is not good. 20. Okay. Zia. Okay, here we go, Zia. This one's for all of it. What do we need? We need under 20. Oh, but I roll with advantage. 31. That's not bad. 1. Look. I mean, you can't see this. I don't know why. Look, okay, I'm not turning it. You can see this. See the 2, 0, 0, and then see the 1. Oh, I just rolled 1. The best roll you can get. Stealth. 140. The impaled creature gurgles and goes stiff as you watch in amazement. His body shrinks and collapses in upon itself. Soon, nothing is left but the bones, as though he has no real flesh to him. You, Norman, and Sylvia must begin the long retreat back to Fort McDonald. Gain 1d6 sanity for triumphing over the Windwalker. Sure. 54. For the forage so far has been adequate to sustain the 3 of you, but no small undertaking. Sometimes the banks of the North Hanninah are swampy and too sheer. You probably might cross canes deep without losing their bearing. 324. You and the 2 students travel over trackless woods on short rations from day to day. We already know this. Oh, to follow the river, to scale the ridge, to thread through light woodland, to penetrate deeper into the forest, to concentrate and find supplies. Let's go deeper into the forest. 557. To avoid the riverside march, you weave through the forest of mature larch. The unknown terrain makes you wish that Charlie was still with your party. Let's do a track. Does anybody have track? Norman will do a track. Wow. He has a 15 and I rolled a 17. So we're going to spend 2 points. And he succeeds. 558. You notice lights tracks to the woods. On closer examination, you think they were left by moccasin-clad humans. You guess the travelers are indigenous people, probably one that has had little contract with traders. Follow the tracks, or attempt to avoid the travelers. Now, Charlie said, avoid them. So let's avoid them. Charlie seemed unenthusiastic about meeting the outcast. You withdraw from the bushes and attempt to retrace your steps. Make a luck roll. 27, succeed. Go to 513. I hate 513. 513 brings us right back to Fort McMurray. No, we're going back into the woods. Side trip. We have 2 companions. We're going to go through the light woodland then. I don't know. I don't want to go back to Fort McMurray yet. One lazy morning, you range along the birch-shaded brook with Norman and Sylvia spearfishing. Something twangs in the papery bark beside your head. You glance at it and see that it is a small dart. Immediately shrill whoops ring from the foliage. You are under attack by people that are only 3 feet tall. You shout a warning to your companions and push them ahead of you. Within seconds, you're all running as quickly as you can, ignoring the way the thickets tear at your clothes and scratch your flesh. With your longer legs, you can surely outdistance the little men if you can get out of range. That's hilarious. Make a dex roll. Ooh, no, 100. That's the worst you can get. Failure, 146. Something bangs into your shins and you fall face first into a layer of decaying pine needles. Your legs are snared by a kind of bola. A glance shows you that Sylvia and Norman are similarly trapped. Oh, shit. The diminutive men carry you, Norman, and Sylvia to their camp. You deduce this is a temporary encampment. The shelters are crude lean-tos. A strange upright rock in the camp clearing draws your eyes. In the bad light, you cannot tell if it's been chiseled by hand or natural hoodoo, but it resembles a giant. Symbols cut into its foot remind you of tracing of a frieze that you once saw in Armitage's office. With an effort, you focus on the immediate question. What do these people intend to do with your surviving parties? Roll 1d10. 9. Odd. 211. The men force Norman and Sylvia in turn to kneel between 2 trees and affix 1 wrist per tree. Then they dance in grotesque glee. The light and the focus of the ritual shifts between colors. The movement continues until you notice a dwarf who holds a crescent blade. When the dance ends and the participants begin to leap and shriek, the blade wielder approaches Norman. You shriek as the blade is swung at his head and it's struck off. Sylvia turns white and faints. Her head is severed while still unconscious. Oh no! So they're dead. 8 is even. The diminutive people carry you out of the glen to a lonely spot. Here a hound-tooth rock stands under the gnarled evergreens, marked with carvings and painted symbols. They tie you to the rock and begin to circle you, their bone adornments clicking in an unwelcome rhythm. Several yell over what seems to be an old fire pit. A glowing vapor curls from it, swirling into a tight, dazzling mass. As the hunters cavort, they launch ecstatic shouts to heaven. You glance up. The mists have parted, and with an odd clarity you see the head of a Taurus. Cold winds massage your face. As you shiver, you get the impression that the sky, a terrifying void just a moment ago, is now rushing down upon you. Inexplicably, they cut your bonds free. You fall to your knees beneath the stone. Nadelmann, Nadelmann. The raw wind whispers in your ears. With the sound comes a compulsion to run towards its source, to somehow touch the wintry sky. You desperately want to reach, to merge with whatever is up there. In the summons is an offer, existence wilder than life, death that conquers death, change that transcends immortality. The summons has a POW of 4d6 plus 60. To resist it, make an opposed POW roll. What? 4d6 plus 60? 3, 4, 7, 12 plus 60, 72. $20. That's good. So, I don't know if I succeed. When you come to, you're lying on a hard bed of pebbles beside a small, deeply incised stream. Suddenly your head is filled with visions of the terrors you've encountered. You sit upright, scanning the dense skeletal stands of aspen and paper birch on either side of the ravine. As far as you can tell, you're alone and in no immediate danger. You check your weapon and find nothing but your hunting knife still in its sheath. You are on your own. I did this part already. Despondent over the prospect of a trek to the wilderness, you are angry. This is after they died the first time. Establish a camp. Woodland survival. Success. 513. For fuck's sake. Whatever. Back to Fort McDonald, I guess. 433. If you lost members, liability roll. Let's just see if it's equal to or greater than, or if I would have succeeded. They absolves you of any wrongdoings or neglect. You must decide what to announce as your primary result. The other discoveries can wait. If you have either the keyword charcoal or the keyword resonate, if you have the keyword inchcape, so let's just pretend I had succeeded that roll in the first case. Inchcape was the word we left with. The existence of the Lost Valley and its prehistoric survivals will shake the scientific world and make your name, if your account is taken seriously. To consider another discovery, to announce this discovery, if you have the keyword backwater, which we did in the first place too, go to 274. So basically, this is how we would have ended the first time had we succeeded on that roll, which was your liability. The physical evidence you produce convinces all but your most biased opponents. The university brings the topic under serious discussion. Journalists from radios and newspapers clamor to interview you. Satisfied that they can depend upon your observations, the university sends out a new expedition under Ivan Kurtov. Public engagements make it necessary for you to rendezvous with the expedition in Fort McDonald instead of accompanying it from Arkham. When you arrive to brace for your return to the North Hanninah, you find the ambitious, overzealous Kurtov has started without you. The Kurtov expedition vanishes without a trace. You return home alone and argue for a second effort. However, the Great Depression makes such a project out of the question. Your books and articles about the Lost Land attract a cult following, but the existence of Nadelmann's Lost Land is not proven in your lifetime. The end. Interesting. Well, I'm not going to do another run. That's enough for me. And it's 10 o'clock on the dot. 10 o'clock on the dot. Whew. So that was Call of Cthulhu, Alone Against the Frost. Hope you enjoyed. Interesting experience. So I've never played a private... It's hot in here with all these candles. Never played a single-player RPG before. I think... Here are my thoughts. Here are Harlan's ending thoughts to Alone Against the Dark. Let me make my hair look pretty. Tall. Make it look pretty tall. Ending thoughts. I think single-player Call of Cthulhu adventures are brilliant. I think the idea of being able to play this by yourself at a late night, is really cool. I highly recommend that you check it out if you do not have the ability to play with friends. That being said, I think it's clear that it is still a step down from role-playing. That's just the nature of the beast, though, and I think anyone recognizes that. It is a stand-in for what you cannot have. And the only reason I would say that is not because it lacks story or mechanics necessarily, but because I find it really makes it difficult to role play. I can do a single player story and be able to play a character more than I can in this type of thing, because you're not playing a role, you're sort of filling the shoes. So, it's definitely a choose your own adventure story, which is fun. And I love the aspects where you get to roll based on your character sheet. I think that's really cool. If choose your own adventure books allowed you to create a character at the beginning of them, they would be so much cooler. But you still lack a bit of that ability to get to have a conversation in character with another character. And for that, it is always going to be a step down type thing. But it is amazing that you get the opportunity to experience one of these role-playing stories without having to, organize a time and date for you to have friends to play with. This is, by definition, a joint venture role-playing, like it's meant to be. You need a GM, you need all that kind of stuff. But we're not all lucky to have that kind of scenario. We're not all that lucky to have close friends that want to role play, let alone, living close to people and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's funny too, because I think the nature of this industry too, it's sort of it's nerdy. It's becoming more popular, but it's not, especially before the last 5 years, it was not a popular thing to do, to role play. So I totally recognize the place that these solo RPGs have, and I'm so fucking glad that they exist. I think it's so cool. I think not enough good things can be said for solo experiences, whether it be board games or RPGs or any of that kind of stuff. So I highly recommend you check this out. It was called Alone Against the Frost. It is by Chaosium. It just came out 2 days ago. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, it's tough to translate to you guys, and my voice is tired from reading everything out. But if it was just me, I wouldn't have to say it out loud. I'd just be reading it on my own. I know they have a few others that you should check out. Alone Against the Flames is one. Alone Against the Dark, I think, is another one. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. This has been such a blast. If you enjoyed this or enjoyed us, please consider supporting us on Patreon. It means the world to us. It allows us to do other things and other projects. One project in specific, we are really excited to announce very soon for you guys. If you're a Patreon supporter, you already know about this project. You might notice there is a microphone stand behind me. There's a few microphone stands for a few people that are coming over every once in a while and recording something. And I want to start getting everyone excited for the prospect of something additional that is going to be coming. A brand new podcast, an actual play podcast that me and a few other special people from the INVICTUS stream have been working on. More on that will come, but I want you guys to start getting excited for Dice Shame. That's all you're going to know for now. Thank you guys so much. Please, again, remember to like the video, subscribe, and all that kind of bullshit. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to be seeing a lot of you guys lately, or now. I am looking for new employment, so I'm sure I'll be streaming a lot more. Hope you have a wonderful night, and as always, we'll see you around the table.